I think that Claude Code is one of the most impressive tools of the AI era, but its biggest strength is also its biggest weakness. Because to use Claude Code, you need to have your Mac on and running Claude at all times if you want to make changes. You're not allowed to make a way to give Claude Code commands inside of your Claude Code project. That would allow people to just take over your computer inside of your own tool. You can use Dispatch, but Dispatch only runs on the phone. So if you're working on a laptop and you want to make a change, you have to grab your phone and type in your change request. But the biggest problem I find is that Dispatch only seems to work about half of the time when I make a request on a really complex project. I've made a tool that makes these weaknesses a lot less weak, and it gives you a direct way to request changes from inside your Claude Code solution. In this video, I'm going to go over it, show you how it works, and in the description below, you'll find a link to the files that you need to drop this into any Claude Code project and make it yourself. I'm David, and on this channel, I teach creatives like you how to make your lives better. So if you're at your computer and you want to make changes, you just go to Claude Code and request those changes. But what happens if you're not at your computer? My typical workflow is to make all of the change requests in something like Notes or TextEdit, and then when I got back to my Mac, I just dumped them all into a chat prompt. So here's all the requests that I made over a couple of weeks. It's a lot of requests, and it's really hard to keep track of all the requests that I've made. If something's really important and I send it on Dispatch and that works, I have to take it out of this list. It works, but then there's another app you have to run, and I have to toggle back and forth between my browser and Notes. I lost a whole bunch of ideas before I could capture them, just because I forgot to switch over and write them down in something else. What I built is a full request ticket system right inside the tool that I made. I've been a product reviewer for decades. I have another channel that's a product review channel, and I've been using FileMaker for decades to track all of the products that I get into review, all of my contacts, all of the companies, all of my deadlines. When you want to add more features, it's incredibly annoying, and even a small change can result in a huge amount of work. Over the course of a weekend, I recreated my FileMaker solution, which I called Julep, from scratch, and then I added a complete email system, invoicing, Kanban boards, calendar reminders, and more just by typing in my requests. Since I'm still building this tool, I have a lot of changes to make, and I make them all of the time. So what I had Code build me was a custom change request button, which just pops up a box in whatever page that I am on. You never have to tell it where you want the change. You simply enter your change request, and when you submit the request, it goes to a custom request queue. Then when I get back to my computer, I simply run a / command. It pulls up all the change requests, prioritizes them, and asks me any questions it needs to know before it starts going. Inside Julep, I also get a running change log with status report so I can see everything. I'm going to show you this in my project now, but keep in mind that the file that I've linked to has a setup document, so all you need to do is follow that and drop in a .md file into your chat, and it will help you set it up. So let me show you how I make changes here, and I'll show you how this works. I'll blur out a lot of this data because these are all real projects and real people's email addresses, but you'll still be able to see what I want to show you even with that blurred out. This is one of the changes I really need to make. This is my content page, and my content page is where I track all of the things that I'm working on for product reviews. This one alternates colors, which makes it easier to read, but if I come over here to contacts, the contact page does not alternate color. Over here on the content page, I'm going to just take a quick screenshot. I'm going to jump over to the contacts page right here. I'm going to request a change. So I'm simply going to say, make this page use the same alternating colors of the content page. I don't really have to do this, but I'm going to attach the image so you can see what I'm talking about. And then I just say upload, and it's going to send it over to Claude. So here's the bigger change that I want to do. I have a to-do list right now, but it is not syncing properly. To-do list, which is where my to-do list comes from. What I'm going to do is open up the prompt, and I'm going to say, please fix the to-do box connection to the program Todoist. Let's do one more. This is the reminders page, and right now I have a checkbox to say that I've read these alerts, but I don't have a way to archive these alerts. So I'm going to say add an archive button on this page that clears and archives the alerts. Give me a way to view current alerts, archived alerts, or deleted reminders. So now I can see all of my change requests over here in the request section. This shows me what's open. These are the ones I just did for you, and then this shows me all the ones that are shipped. Since I built this, it's 27 things that it has gone ahead and done for. That is the first part. Now I'm going to jump over to my desktop, and I'm going to show you the rest over there on the desktop. So I'm going to come here, and I'm just going to type updates. I have some coffee while I wait for it to read everything. It asks me which order I want to do it in. I'm going to say go in order. Now it's going to make all of the changes. It's going to push those changes to my live server, and then I'm going to see those changes in real time. I'm going to go back to my studio Mac, and I'm going to show you all those changes that were made. Now I'm back at my laptop. If I come over here to change requests, I can see that it has made all of my requests. And so there's now no open requests, and there's shipped 30. Remember, before it was 27. Let's take a look at how those changes were done. The first request was to add an archive button over here on the reminders page. Now, it added an archive all button for me, but it didn't add archive buttons on these ones. So now I'm just going to go and make another change. I'm simply going to say on this page, please add an archive button on each alert in addition to the archive all button. I'm just going to say send to Claude, and now the next time that I'm over there, it's going to apply this. The other change I requested was to make the alternating text boxes across different pages. So here's the alternating text box in the content section. And here's the alternating colored text box over here in contacts. So it did that one as well. The last task that I showed you guys was connecting the to-do list to my correct project inside Todoist. And right here I made a new task, which is called remind people to like and subscribe and download. I'm going to hit send on that. Now we went from 8 open tasks to 9. And the task is remind people to like and subscribe and download. If you like this kind of easy real world tips, do me a favor and like and subscribe below. And don't forget that down in the description is the links to download this. If it doesn't work for you for some reason, leave a comment down below. I'll get back to you and I will try and modify this for whatever your specific use case is. If you like this video, I have a playlist here of other videos that I think that you will like. For Agent Baltic, I'm David, and don't forget that if you can type it, you can do it.